Are we live?
Yeah, sorry.
Hey, hi. We do that every time. Hi, good evening, everyone. It is January 6th, 2022, and this is our PAB meeting, first one for the month of January in the new year. We welcome you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let the board members introduce themselves and the part of the cities that they're representing. So I'm Shawnee Wilson. I'm the board chair, and I am a PAB or PABA representative. I can't stalk. Somebody else go.
Hi, I'm Danielle Tucker. I am the vice chair and I represent seat 1, PABA.
I'm Ricky Harvey, board member. Do I represent the chair?
Mayor.
You're the mayoral seat, Rev.
I represent the mayoral seat.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Dora Settle, and I represent the Northwest Council seat.
Dr. Harrison.
Over to you.
Dr. Harrison.
It looks like he's trying to get himself off of mute.
Thank you.
I'm Robert Harrison.
Dr. Harrison, what is your seat? Who is your representative of your seat? Who are you representing?
Beats me.
Are you a city council nominee?
It beats me.
Okay, the answer is yes. It's too late for you. So, okay, everyone. So we're going to go ahead and move through the agenda. So we do have some minutes to approve from 3 different meetings in December, and I'm going to go ahead and ask Marina Pacheco, can you please go ahead and put those up for approval? And then I will wait, and I believe everybody had the opportunity to take a look at those. And so then I'm going to move for a vote to approve, or ask for a vote to approve.
Chair Wilson, they're fairly lengthy. Do you want us to show all of them?
No, so if everybody's had a chance to look at the minutes, we can go ahead and I mean, the votes, the request is out there, so people can go ahead and move for a vote to approve. And I just am looking for a second, please.
Second.
Okay, so the vote is to approve the meeting minutes from the dates in January or December rather, which are the 2nd, 14th, and 21st. All in favor of approving these 3? Okay.
In favor.
Dr. Harrison, I can't see him. No? Okay. Dr. Harrison, are you okay with the minutes or?
I didn't see them, so I abstain.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that's that motion does approve, and we do have 1 abstention. Okay, all right, guys, let's go ahead and so the staff report is up next.
Good evening, members of the board and members of the public. As I'm sure many people are watching are in the same situation as PAB. COVID has hit every part of Rochester hard, and the city of Rochester and its constituent agencies like PAB are not excluded. The Police Accountability Board, its staff has been operating out of office since just before Christmas for the safety and precaution of all of our staff members. Illnesses and absences across the city have led to widespread delays in all sorts of processes, from purchasing and procurement to HR, et cetera. And so obviously everything's been knocked back. Members of the board, some of our consultants are ill, for example. Some of the staff are dealing with illnesses. It's not surprising. This is affecting everything. So for folks who have applied with PAB, obviously we appreciate, your patience on this. For example, we had, our most recent set of job application period close on the 27th of December. We're still waiting for those resumes because there's so much absence and illness in the city's hiring staff. So just to say, folks, to hold on. I think everyone's trying to get through the next few weeks until we get past peak Omicron. And that's just kind of dominating so much of our work right now. That being said, PAB did onboard our first set of new staff on Monday. which was obviously done remotely. Very, very excited to have such a wonderful, amazing, talented, diverse group of folks. Looking forward to having those people be introduced to the board in the weeks to come when everyone can be here and it can make sense. So we will get to that in the coming weeks. I know that our office space is a point of major and pressing concern. We are meeting with the city engineer tomorrow, as well as representatives from city council. Hopefully we will have news about next steps on that, because it's absolutely urgent that we have space for the short, medium, and long term. And so this is something that we'll be keeping the board posted on. I know Chair Wilson has taken a lot of leadership on this issue in particular. And so I have faith that we're going to have some level of resolution in the days to come.
Also, I think is there an update with the disciplinary matrix? It's on
Yes,
the-
so regarding the disciplinary matrix, I understand that SMK has provided some of that, some examples of different disciplinary matrices to the board. At the last meeting, the board requested data about disciplinary data from the city. I met with the city's law department to request that information. They said they would reach out to RPD. This is 2 or 3 weeks ago. We haven't heard back. It's not necessarily surprising given the turnover in administration and Omicron, but our priority is getting the city the set of rules around information access that we are coming up with. The plan is to circulate those rules to the board next week and to start working with the city's administration to get those rules all agreed upon and in place starting next week. So the hope is that we're going to have a framework for getting all the information we need very quickly. In the meantime, we are going to be having some of our new staff going through the publicly available records around police discipline in Rochester to start getting aggregate data about discipline, the kinds of things that officers are being disciplined for, say excessive force or other kinds of misconduct. And we will hopefully have a report to the board next week about that, getting you some of that preliminary data together. So to sum up, the disciplinary matrix work obviously is delayed like everything else is. But we hope to get more of the substantive things to you that you requested as soon as possible.
All righty, thank you so much. All right, so I have a very brief chair's report, but really this is just just details about the city council and their transition of leadership. So as you all know, President Scott is no longer serving on city council, and she also has so now they're President Miguel Melendez and Vice President Mary Lupian. And they also have the introduction of 2 other new council members, Councilmember Stanley Martin and Councilmember Kim Smith. And so we will be meeting with the city council members in the weeks to come. And we will be making requests of them to just be able to sit down with them, talk about what the expectations are going into this new year and what we expect of them as well. And so that is really exciting. And I say congratulations to our new council members and our new leadership as well on city council. Right. So that's the brief report. The rest of the report that I had would really just fold into the chair committee. So the jobs committee report. That's it.
We're good.
Right. And so now we're going to move on to committee reports. So folks, I'm actually going to, I want to just ask for some feedback here because there's a lot of the jobs committee report that we can talk about, but I just want to be very careful because a lot of it is really kind of pertaining to employees. So I want to make sure that we do not violate anyone by talking about it in out of the session. Okay, so I guess what I'll say is that we are meeting, where Jobs Committee has been meeting every Tuesday for a couple of weeks. We've been interviewing some employee candidates that have been put forth as recommended from the staff. And so we will be talking about the next steps with those recommendations now that they've been submitted to the board in full. Our job committee recommendations, which includes myself, Vice Chair Tucker, and Reverend Harvey, and Reverend Matthew Nikoloff, who is not here tonight. And so we have submitted our recommendations, and so we will be talking about that in executive sessions. That's all I will say. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
why not put this meeting into executive session so that we can discuss what your committee's been doing?
Correct. Yeah. So we so there's two things I want to say before that is entertained. We do have an old business from previous meeting that I think we need to move to the next
We
meeting.
can come back out of executive session once we're done.
So I don't think we'll need to, Dr. Harrison. I think that we can talk about.
I think to be able to say that you can't talk about your committee report is pretty problematic.
I don't agree with that, but okay. Were you going to say something?
I don't think she said don't talk about it.
So we can't. And I did actually talk about some of it, but to that point, I know that we do have the disciplinary matrix to talk about. Danielle?
Yes, I think it's a misunderstanding here. Bob is recommending that we go into executive session to talk deeply about the jobs report and to give the jobs committee report. Shani, you said we can go into executive session. However, you just wanted to do old business first. So we will go into executive session to talk about it. It just will be right after the old business report. And then we'll go into the executive session, and then we'll be able to leave after that because there's only one other thing on the agenda. That's basically what we're saying, Dr. Harrison. So we're going to talk about the report. Just let us hit the old business to talk about the matrix really quick. And then we don't have anything else on the agenda. If you can look at the agenda, there's nothing else. So we'll be able to end after the jobs committee report in executive session. Go ahead, Shani.
Okay. So the old business is the disciplinary matrix, and we, unfortunately, there are some board members that are not able to attend tonight's meeting. And so I would actually like to move or put forth the motion that we actually move on and deal with the disciplinary matrix and some of the questions that we have, since we do have so much data to comb through, to our next meeting.
I second.
Okay. So all in favor of tabling the disciplinary matrix discussion until the next meeting and when we have board member attendance? Okay. All right. So Dr. Harrison, are you okay with that? Okay. Well, yes. Okay. So, all right. Motion passes. Okay. All right. So, yep. So that was all we had that was that needed to be in an open meeting. And so now we're going to go ahead and I'm going to ask that we move into executive session to discuss the employees. Number one, the jobs committee findings and recommendations to the board about our current employee candidates. And then we can have some discussions that in a more protected setting. Looking for a second.
Second.
Okay.
Second, yeah.
All in favor of moving into executive session?
Aye.
All right. All right, we're all set. Thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you soon.
I just, for one thing, just for the legal clarification here.
Mhm.
Members of the public, we're allowed to go into executive session to under the freedom of the, under the open meetings law in New York State, when we are discussing matters that pertain to the employment of specific persons. This is to protect their identities, to make sure that, our discussions of their, histories, et cetera, aren't necessarily public. That's what the law allows us to do. It's good to, protect people from that. And so that is why we are moving into executive session, because we are discussing the details of a person's possible employment. And with that, have a wonderful night.